my MTV. Money for nothing and your checks for free. Sounds great, right? Well, if you've been sidelined by coronavirus, yeah, I'll bet you could use a direct cash payment. A near miss with World War III, pandemic, murder hornets, economic recession, unemployment. What else could 2020 possibly have in store for us? Well, what about free money? Universal basic income, direct cash payments. Lots of different ideas are being floated around in Washington right now, so let's roll up our pant legs and wade our way through the DC swamp to see what it might look like for your wallet. Venmo DeLuca here. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Ramblin' Recruiter. Today we are talking about direct cash payments, universal basic income, $2,000 a month, direct in your pocket. I'm here today with Junior Recruiter, and he's going to tell you all about it. A lot of different ideas are being floated around in Washington. Let's take a look and see. Congress passed the HEROES Act back in May. I covered that extensively in my video linked up here. Check that out. A lot of people thought that was dead on arrival in the Senate, but now there's a lot more talk happening about direct cash payments, and everything from $2,000 a month universal basic income to back-to-work bonuses is in the cards. Texas Rep. Kevin Brady, the top Republican on the House Ways and Means Committee, which is a bit like saying jumbo shrimp the way the House of Representatives is right now, has proposed a one-time $1,200 direct cash payment as a back-to-work incentive, or could possibly split that up into two $600 weekly back-to-work incentives. Yes, you heard me correctly, a direct cash payment as an incentive to stop collecting unemployment. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it actually makes sense when people are making more money on unemployment than they are at their jobs.
Another proposal from Sam Portman of Ohio would provide addition to their wages in both cases, the money would last through July 13th, the same
31st.
July 31st, the same date on which the extra $600 a week unemployment benefit expires. FYI, if the HEROES Act were to pass, the extra $600 a week would be extended through December 31st. The idea has gained traction among some White House officials who have voiced support for reforming unemployment benefits in the next aid package.
Thank you, Junior. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow was quoted as saying, "We've got to reward people for going back to work." Simple. If your goal is to get people off unemployment as quickly as possible and back to work, then an incentive is exactly the right way to do it. Now that to me sounds pretty good, but you can always count on the progressive, or Junior, is it progressive or regressive? Regressive? Okay, well, you know, some people would agree with you. You can always count on the progressive left to say that's not enough, more is in fact more. Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Ed Markey, for example, have proposed an Andrew Yang-style $2,000 a month universal basic income until the coronavirus begins to fade. Now, considering some states are already well into phase 2 of reopening, some are in stage 1, it's really not clear what they mean when they say begins to fade. I mean, the coronavirus has already begun to fade, and as you know, once you start giving people a universal basic income, it would be next to impossible to take it back. There have been some limited experiments with universal basic income in certain places in the country. Alaska, for example, gives all of its residents a small UBI that's funded by their oil wealth. Some parts in Technopolis there in Silicon Valley have tried it as well. It's an interesting theory. It is just a theory. There's very little evidence of whether or not it really works. Some other such plans will continue to provide that universal basic income to all Americans who make less than $120,000 a year. Now, listen to this. Under this plan, a family of 5, a married couple with 3 children, a family of 5 would earn $120,000 a year in universal basic income without working. $2,000 per family member, that would be the maximum. Americans who are keen to receive another cash payment may have to wait a bit longer though, given that the White House has indicated they're not willing to do anything before July, and the Senate will be going on their 2-week July recess, which is scheduled to end on the 20th. So if you're looking for an additional cash infusion, you have a little bit longer to wait.
White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett was quoted as saying it will depend on what the economy looks like in July. While probably not the answer people who are unemployed and struggling are looking for, it is sensible considering the first round of cash is still making its way through the economy.
Economy.
As expected when dealing with the government. Things are not moving quickly. Apparently, 35 million Americans are still waiting for the CARES to act money. According to the IRS, and $130 billion is still available in the Paycheck Protection Program. So if you own a small business, to get on that
and apply
for the forgivable loan. It's free real estate.
One question on my mind, and I know I can't be the only one, is are we shooting ourselves in the foot by printing all this money and spreading it around town? There is definitely an inflation risk to that. Understanding the human cost of having so many Americans out of work, struggling to put food on the table, I guess that is a risk we will just have to take and deal with the consequences of it later. There will be consequences though, I promise you that much. So if you're trying to get back to work and you secure some interviews, they're likely to take place over video. Check out the demonstration of a higher view video interview I did up here. And the video that's down here, that's the one that YouTube thinks you're gonna like the best. They're pretty much always right about that, so check it out. Enjoy the rest of your job searching day. Stay classy, YouTube, and thanks for stopping by.
Peace!